In this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to build your first app using AI with no programming experience required. If you stick around to the end, you'll be able to have your app online and be able to build any app that you can think of without any additional help. Let's get into it. So, what I'm going to show you guys how to build today is a to-do app using Google's Firebase Studio. For those of you who are unfamiliar with what Firebase Studio is, it is an online development platform that is integrated with all of Google's products, including Firebase, Gemini, their authentication, Vertex AI, your cloud functions, so on and so forth. If you can think of it, they probably have it and much, much more. It makes building full stack applications faster, easier, and more seamless than ever. Now, I know you guys came here to build, so enough rambling about what it is. If you guys are interested, you can read through their documentation here, but let's get right on into it. So head on over to studio.firebase.google.com and you'll be greeted with a page that looks similar to this. This is the home page that you can start designing and creating your application. On the left-hand side, you have your prompt box where you can prototype an app using just natural language, or you can choose a template to use. They have most of the main languages covered, including Go, Python, Angular, Node.js, Flutter. They have it. We're going to go ahead and put in our to-do app prompt. I highly recommend spending at least 3 to 5 minutes trying to perfect a prompt, brainstorming it and going through with ChatGPT or Gemini and just really flushing out your ideas to get it as clear and concise as possible. The more detailed, the more elaborate your prompt is, the better results you're going to get. If you just simply say, build me a to-do app, you're kind of gambling on what it will create for you. So I have one inside my ChatGPT. I'm just going to copy and paste this. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the description down below if you guys want to follow along. Just feel free to copy and paste it. Essentially, I'm asking Firebase Studio to create me a to-do app that users can add dates, times to their tasks. They can assign a priority. They can add a category. It's going to have a floating action icon button at the bottom that they can click on, and so on and so forth. Then I'm going to hit prototype with AI, and what this will do is it will create a initial blueprint design or idea for the application. This takes about 30 seconds or so you can see it pop it up here. And it has your style guides, your UI, etc., etc. Let's go ahead and customize this by clicking on this customize thing here. Let's remove the app name, timeline, and we're going to go ahead and add a core feature that I forgot to add in that prompt. So if you forget something that you want to add in the prompt, you can always do it in here. And we're going to say AI suggestions. Create suggestions for subtasks, priority, teas, and due dates. Now you'll notice once I do that, it's gonna have a little AI icon here, meaning it's using Gemini. It's gonna update my stack to use Gemini and GenKit for this. And I'm okay with these colors. You can change them if you want, again, by hitting this customize and actually putting in your own hex code. But to me, they don't much matter, so I'm going to continue, and I guess when you hit save, it always regenerates it. Prototype this app. This will take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, so I recommend just sitting back, relaxing, go grab a drink, and come back to this in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here and catch you guys once this is done. So after about 4 minutes or so, I finally got my first iteration, and we're going to continuously improve upon this. Because I asked it to use AI, specifically Gemini, I do need an API key. I can either go to Google AI Studio and create one there, or I'll just have the Firebase Studio generate one for me automatically. I'm going to wait a second for this to create it, and then I should be able to access the AI features within my app. While I wait for that, I'm going to test out some of the other features, such as adding a title, like create a Firebase Studio tutorial. And we're going to give it a due date, due time, 5 p.m. Just testing out random things here. High, medium, low. YouTube is my category. And suggest subtask. Okay, I need a task description first. A tutorial on how to use Firebase Studio. Okay, so let's see if this works. Now that the API key is added, it will take a second, and look at that. Okay, we're going to close that and create tasks. So now we have our 15 subtasks added in here with our start time and end time. Now, one thing I'm noticing is, hey, I can't actually close off any of these tasks. You know, I can't check off any of them. So let's please add the ability to check off subtasks. And it will take another 30 seconds to a minute, depending on the complexity of this, to add that. But while it's working on that, I want to see what happens if I add another date in here that is create YouTube thumbnail. Okay. Interesting. So I have to have, yeah, that makes sense. It's a good catch there. End date has to be later. And create task. Okay. So what I'm noticing here is that the date that's on the timeline does not actually match up with the date here. And I've seen this before, and you just have to tell Gemini, hey, the timeline date is not matching up with the task date. It is behind by 1 day. All right, I'm gonna wait for this to finish generating, then I'll send this new request and test on whether or not I can actually do that. So you can see that you're easily able to quickly prototype, make changes to it without even having to write a line of code, which I think is fantastic. So still giving it a second here. It is having to add a whole nother database item for these and like kind of separate them in the back end, which is nice that I don't have to do it, but it does take a little bit more time. And any moment now, there we go. Let's go ahead and send this next request. Let's refresh this, and we should be able to now. Interesting. So that's not good. So you can see you got to kind of play around with it a little bit and tinker with things, try out different prompts, see what works and what doesn't. And I'm going to fix the subtask issue now. So I'm going to click on this little one issue notice, and it says, hey, I've detected an issue. Let's go ahead and fix the error. And it's going to pass this information along to Gemini to try to troubleshoot what's going on and fix it without us having to explicitly say. Again, each one of these revisions does take upwards of 30 seconds to 3 minutes, but it is significantly faster than having to go write all the code yourself, in my experience. So it just finished updating that. So let's go ahead and test that out, make sure it is adding the subtask. Let's go ahead and re-add that task, create a Firebase tutorial. There we go. A tutorial on how to use Firebase. Let's add subtasks, suggest subtasks. Excellent. Create tasks. And now, moment of truth, do these work? They do, and they work well. Excellent, excellent. So we can see that we're making progress here. But what happens when I check off something? I want to be able to filter by date, by priority, you know. So how can I do that? Well, instead of putting it into the prompt box here, I'm going to show you guys a different way of doing things. You can click on this little doodle icon, and this opens up a bunch of tools at the top that allow you to kind of draw on this screenshot and explain what you're trying to do, and then give additional instructions down below. So for example, I don't want this here. I want the checkbox to be centered on the side. So let's go move checkbox outside and to the left of the task box, comma. We're going to want a little priority. And let's make this text low. And this is going to be like, I don't know, blue maybe. I'm trying to think of the color. There we go. Now add priority indicator on task box, comma. Then we want a little filter. Let's change this color to gray. And we're going to add in some text and go filter. Let's make this like that. Okay, and now let's add a little additional instructions. Add the ability to filter tasks by priority, name, due date, and yeah, completion. Send drawing. So once I do that, you guys will see that it sends that drawing right over here. And it will go ahead and start working on those modifications, which again could take upwards of 30 seconds to 3 minutes or so, depending on the complexity of it. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video again right now and come back once it's made those updates. And about 2 minutes later, it has actually made those changes where I can filter the task. I could even search that and apply filters. Fantastic. Clear. Let's just clear it. There we go. And it told me, hey, I already had the icon here or medium thing, so I'm not going to move it. But, you know, I could try to get it again. I'm just going to leave it as is. I think I'm pretty happy with how this is looking so far. So before we publish it, I wanted to show you guys how to access all the code written in the back end. If you can't make changes through here, you can always go into the code mode and make any and all changes your heart is content with. This is a no-code tutorial, so I won't spend too much time, but if you want it to access all your files, you can go into SRC, see where your page is and how that's all laid out, or any of the components that you may be using. But again, this is a beginner tutorial. We're not going to dive into Next.js. I just wanted to show you guys how to access it. You click back up to here and switch back to the prototyper mode, you'll be back to the screen that we're all familiar with. And from here, once it loads up any minute now, if we're all happy, if we like how it looks, we are ready to publish it. All you do is go up to this publish button up here. It's already created a Firebase project for you. All you need to do is link a Google Cloud billing account. If you don't have one, you can just click here and create one, or if you do have one, you just click there, link the account, and set up services. In my experience, this takes about 10 minutes or so, and then it will be live. So I will catch you guys once it is published to the internet. See you in a second. And 10 minutes later, the app is live. If you guys click on this link right here, you'll be taken to your brand new app that is hosted on Firebase. Anybody can access this anywhere in the world. Give yourself a pat on the back. You guys built your first production app on the internet. That brings us to the end of this video. If you guys found this content helpful, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean the world to me, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Take care and have a fantastic rest of your day.